Well, it's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. And joining me via Skype is Dipo, Oyewole, strategy consultant and public affairs analyst. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Veronica. Thank you for having me.
All right, we head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the Daily Trust. The TCN boss fired over 781 billion naira cements power deal. I never worked against project. Mohammed, sacked official, yet to receive letter. And to the front page of the blueprint, on Salah Eve, NAF kills 200 bandits in Katsina Zamfara. Multiple strikes. Troops neutralize 35 Boko Haram ISWAP elements in Borno. Oyewole insists on peace deal. And to the front page of the News Direct, NCC Digital Complex controversy. Communication Minister Dabiri Erewa fight dirty on social media. This is a fat lie, Pantami. Islamic scholars should not lie, Dabiri Erewa. We'll look at this story shortly. And now we'll move to the front page of the national economy. Nigeria must strive for food security. President Muhammadu Buhari says nation no longer has money for food importation. And to the front page of the Daily Times, NITCOM, NCC trade words over office space. We were forcefully evicted from NCC building on orders of Communication Minister, NITCOM. NCC, it's a lie. NITCOM had not started using offices allocated to it at our building. And to the front page of the Leadership newspaper now, how Nigeria can quickly exit COVID-19 induced recession. Experts suggests cutting cost of governance, food deregulation. Others urge northern governors to diversify region's economy. President Muhammadu Buhari insists on local production of food, says no more money for importation. Elumelu, world leaders to discuss Africa's post-COVID-19 recovery. And finally, on the front page of the Business AM, bulls on rampage as BUA, MTN, Dangote aid ASI to 5.59% jump. Market cap surpasses 13 trillion naira in value. Zenith, Access, FBNH, pump up volume and value. All right, let's head to the front page of the News Direct now, talking about the NCC Digital Complex controversy, the row between Communication Minister and Dabiri Erewa fighting on social media. Dipo, talk to us. What do you make of this controversy?
Well, first thing I would say is, for me, it was quite embarrassing seeing people of the same administration, of the same government, using social media as a platform to air out whatever differences they have. And according to what is on the Twitter page of NITCOM, they claim that notice of eviction came on the 9th of February 2020, and eventually it did happen 11th of February. So the question now is, why is it coming to the public forum right now? For me, I see it as a form of distraction. I see it as a ploy. I see it as a form of subterfuge, really. Because for me, our priority right now shouldn't be about what people should be able to communicate via a memo, okay? I expect that even if it's something that a news outlet, maybe an online media, posted up there, it's something that both offices could have said, we're working to resolve this amicably, or we've been able to resolve this, there is no news here, there's nothing to see here. But unfortunately, what we've seen are these two elements coming to trash each other out on social media in the time where we're saying that we have an economy in trouble. And note that our economy was in trouble before we were hit by the COVID-19, all right? So we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about a quarrel over office space. For me, it is very mundane. It is very embarrassing. It is quite shameful at this time because, I mean, oil prices have dropped to an all-time low. We're not making enough, and we've had short parts of the nation down, parts of the economy down because of the COVID-19, that we're just getting to reopen and joining the global space with the recession. So I think these are the conversations that we should be hearing a lot about from our government officials, and not about who evicted who from what office space and who was given the directive to be there, who gave them the directive to go. I think I expected a lot more from both parties, but unfortunately that's not what we're seeing. But like I said, I think it is a form of distraction.
And I asked Dipo, if I may cut in your line of thought at this point, distraction from what exactly? Of course, there's so much going on. Is it not left to Nigerians if they want to be distracted or not?
Okay, yes, it is left to Nigerians if you want to be distracted or not. But you also need to understand that Nigerians are a people that we've been known to be resilient, and I say that in quote. But because on some level, despite all our various challenges that we face in terms of the economy, in terms of power, infrastructure, unemployment, poverty, we find tangible distractions for us to look away from those issues so we don't get to think about them on a daily basis. So I believe that they have also just chosen to give us some material to dwell on so that we don't focus on maybe some of the failings in government as far as I'm concerned. Because I think, like I said, it is really shameful because in 2020 right now, in the month of May, what a lot of people are talking about, before we came on, the business news was on, and we heard what's going on in Angola and other nations on the continent and around the world, how they're trying to come out of this economic rot that they found themselves due to COVID-19, and for some of us that have been affected by the drop in oil revenue. We're not getting to see a lot of that and a lot of that conversation on social media. Would it be too much to ask our persons in government, either elected or appointed, to act responsibly and be able to give us some information and put relevant data out there as regards to how we intend to get out of this mess that we found ourselves in, either due to the COVID-19 or due to the oil drop or even due to mismanagement, as it were. But like I said, it is a distraction, and I think this is what we get to see from time to time from different courses of government, where they throw it out there.
All right. As disappointing as it might be for you, the situation can be salvaged, I believe. Moving forward, how would you expect this issue resolved?
I would expect that both principals of both organizations, the minister and Madike Dabiri, to be able to sit down and say that, okay, you know what, this is a challenge. Either there was a form of miscommunication on someone's part, or there was a form of misinterpretation on another person's part. I believe they should be able to sit down. This, even if they don't get to sit down because of maybe social distancing, this is something that can take place over 30 minutes, over a 30-minute phone call, and it will be resolved. But I mean, like I said earlier, it's on the Twitter page of NIDCOM that this conversation has been on ground since February. So I ask, what have they been doing since February that they have been able to resolve this amicably, that it is now degenerating to a social media war in May? So I think that it is a bit irresponsible on both of their part, saying that somebody's saying, or somebody's a liar, somebody shouldn't be saying this because of their religious inclinations and all of that. It's not necessary, okay? It's not necessary. We don't need to know all of that. It is none of our business. It doesn't affect us in our daily lives. It doesn't affect the Commonwealth. It doesn't generate any revenue for the government, for us as a people. It doesn't move us forward in any way. We shouldn't be concerned with this. We shouldn't be saddled with this responsibility of this burden, okay? Pick up the phone, speak to yourself, okay? It's the least you can do. You work in the same government. You're not a member of the opposition. None of you are members of the opposition. You should be able to pick up the phone and speak to yourselves. If it's something that you need to communicate via an official memo, do so that certain things are put on record for posterity's sake. You should do that and not bring everything to social media. Because we have social media right now, shouldn't mean that everything or issues that concern government, everything should generate to issues that are being deliberated or discussed on social media. Because the question now is, even the relevant issues that we expect to be discussed on social media, they shy away from. Okay, so why is it a mundane issue like this that you bring on social media, where the different issues, the different conversations that we've tried to get you people in government to talk about on social media, you shy away from them. Your principal shies away from them. You say it's not his communication staff. He doesn't like to talk. You don't like to talk. But suddenly right now, you have internal squabbles, and then you're bringing it on social media. How is that our business right now? How is that our business? Try and sort it out. Call yourselves, send memos. Let this thing be resolved. And frankly speaking, even if it's not resolved, how does it really affect us as Nigerians? Right. Okay? I think it is their internal squabble, and it shouldn't be any of our business. It shouldn't be our burden. Yes, People are getting
But it
soft
also
power.
brings to the fore issues of conflict resolution amongst government officials. This is not the first time that we see
No,
a
it isn't.
situation where there is a conflict, issues of conflict amongst government officials. Is that much of something that perhaps you would want government officials to begin to look into to address situations like this?
Okay, for me, I think it is quite symptomatic, and I say it's symptomatic because it is an insight into what kind of people we have leading us. This is what I mean. If you cannot resolve conflicts amongst yourselves, how do you expect that same body of government to be the ones to resolve conflict among its citizens, among certain regions, among certain parts of the nation, to heal certain people of certain wounds, either emotional, financial, or wounds that come in different ways? If you cannot resolve conflicts in your own house, why should we trust you to resolve conflicts in the neighborhood or outside your own house? So for me, it is quite symptomatic. And if they do not know, if they haven't realized this, for whatever reason they've chosen to bring this to the public there, like I said earlier, it is quite embarrassing. It is very shameful, very irresponsible. And yes, it does show that they lack a sense of proper conflict management, if it has to. Something that has been on for 3 months, okay, and we're just hearing of it on social media, which ideally we shouldn't even hear of it. There are different organizations that have different departments in the organization that have different challenges. Do we get to hear them on social media? We have banks, we have insurance companies, we have telecom companies, we have tech organizations. We don't get to hear issues of their internal squabbles on social media. Why should it be the one of government? Okay, now you're quick to bring things to social media, but issues that concern us, that concern our daily lives or our daily living, that affects how we can move from where we are to where we ought to be, which is what government is about, leading people from where they are to where they ought to be, harnessing their true potentials and seeing that you're maximizing them. We don't get to hear anything from you, okay? So now that you have internal squabbles, you're looking for public sympathy. I'm sorry, you're not going to get it here. It's none of our business.
All right.
Sort it out, it's your internal issue, and take it from there.
Dipo Oyewole, thank you for speaking with us.